Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back again. You may notice I'm wearing a top from another video. If you do, then thank you for watching both. But we are recording back to back. We are one man down from the other video, if you watch that. But I'm still joined by Mr. Lankofski.
Hello, everyone. How are we? Hope you are all well. As always, if you see me panning off to my left-hand side, it is just to check the scores and statistics. So I do apologise for that.
Yeah, we're back. It's Lew Lank. It is on the Premier League this time, and the Championship as always. We're just going to run through last week's predictions, as it was a bit of a break last time, the international break, and we're going to go through next week. So it's game week 5, I do believe.
Yep, game week 5. Hallelujah! Actual football's back. The money-making Ponzi scheme that is international football has eroded away for now. And yes, we shall jump straight into the first game of the weekend, which was a 12:30 kickoff on the Saturday. Wolves at home to Liverpool, and I had Liverpool, so that's 1 point for me already. By the looks of the scores, I believe I caught a little bit of this. Wolves went 1-0 up, didn't they? I believe.
Wolves absolutely if you didn't watch this game, basically first half, Wolves battered them, and I mean battered them, and they were they should have taken more chances, and they should have been about 2 or 3 up. They didn't, and Liverpool came back. They fought back in the end, and they ended up winning. But yeah, this was Wolves. It was very much a missed chance for Wolves. They should have taken. A better team would have taken advantage of this. I also had Liverpool because I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a renaissance this season, but they seem to be.
It's yeah. It's fucking yeah, mate.
It's fucking
yeah, mate.
Yeah, it feels like Liverpool are somewhat back. They've still got problems, and I don't think they'll challenge anywhere near the title. But I think they're pretty much nailed on the top 4 as it stands currently, as early as it is.
If they, if it comes to January and they don't sell Salah for 200 million. Don't care what any Liverpool fans got to say. You get 200 million for 31-year-old.
I think he's turning 31.
31. You take that and you go buy
anyone.
Anyone. I said go for a fucking a ballsy shout. Go save Jadon Sancho from fucking scum because you're not going
200 million though.
No, that's what I mean. You're going to spend under 100 million, and if it turns out that he's as good as he was when he was at Borussia Dortmund, you look like a fucking genius.
And you take one of their players and revive his career.
Yeah, exactly.
All-in style.
Yeah, but that's just a little tangent. Yes, I caught bits and bats of this while I were out on Saturday, and like Lou said, Wolves' first half and early second half looked very in the game, and then Liverpool.
They ran out of steam.
Yeah, Liverpool endured them or outlasted them is probably a better word, and then sort of turned on their style. But, yes, we're both great a point there. If you do not remember, it is a rollover, so the winner of this week gets 2 points.
We probably should have started off by saying it is 2-1 to Mr. Lang.
Yeah, it's 2-1. I won the previous rollover, so yeah, the dizzying heights of 2 points are available as we speak. Moving on to the next game, which was Aston Villa at home to Crystal Palace. That is another win for me. I picked Villa.
I'm all aboard the Emery train. I picked Villa as well.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm all aboard the Emery train. Yeah,
they had a bit of a wobble at the start, getting through by Newcastle, but they since then they've been pretty steady.
Yeah, looking at stats,
obviously,
pretty much battered them.
The note is obviously get well to Roy Hodgson, who was taken to hospital before this game.
What?
Roy Hodgson, he was taken to hospital. So
yeah,
he got taken to hospital because he wasn't very well. So
it's weird because I've not seen anything about that. Yeah, you see everything about scum fans waving the Norwich scarves around their heads and ruining the chances of not signing.
He got taken sick and was taken to hospital, so he wasn't on the touchline for this game. And
that says a lot. So get well soon, Roy. Hope you are doing well. Even though, just retire, mate. Just retire. Yeah. Your missus must be fuming at you. Even though you are pretty much doing a good job at Palace, and you always seem to put, on that bombshell. Get well soon, Roy. Although I did back against your team, so that's 1 point for me. What did you have, Lou?
I had Villa.
Yeah, Villa. Yeah, as we both said, Emery train. Swiftly moving on, we come to the
London
where are you?
derby.
Yeah, but Lou called into question whether Luton was in London. It is.
Or if they should be in the Premier League, but that's a separate issue.
That was my question that I related to them in episode 1 of this series. Yes, I had a Fulham win, and Lou?
I had a Fulham win. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I said 3-0.
Okay. It wasn't really a resounding victory, but at the same time, it definitely was a resounding victory. The scoreline tells a very different tale. I believe that scoreline tells a different tale because Fulham just don't have a goal scorer, to be quite honest.
Yeah, Jimenez is... Yeah.
Is not the player he once was pre-injury. Yeah, pre-injury. But hey, you've got Willian.
They're going to miss Paulinho when he leaves.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Paulina.
Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
seen talk of him going to Bayern, which, you know...
I can't remember where I saw it. That might have been what I saw as well. I think I saw that as well. But yeah, they're just very blunt at the minute of Fulham, but I mean, yeah. If you want a striker, I know a striker that Leeds are selling for around 40 to 50 million. It's great value for money, and he will.
To be fair, that new striker they just signed, is it Piro?
Piro, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it were banging him.
Tree.
Yeah, it were banging him in for fun at Swansea, but we shall get onto that a little later on. Moving on to the next game. Scum at home to Brighton. I fell for the trap, and I quote from my previous
Man United fan.
Yeah, I quote from my previous episode that every time I go against Brighton, they always show me up and do well. Boy, does that still ring true.
Is it a bittersweet loss though, in the sense that you're quite happy that you were wrong on this?
Oh, I'm just laughing all the way till the Glazers sail me. I think it's hilarious.
No, just carry on the Glazers.
Yeah, I keep saying that. What have they done wrong? They don't sell money. You've just signed a fucking £74 million striker that's like 19. They don't sell it. Don't spend money.
And the midfielder you didn't need.
Yeah.
60 million.
Yeah,
He's injured.
That's a very good point. But yes. Go on.
I was just going to say, can I make the point? Man United fans them and Arsenal and Liverpool fans are the most entitled fans. They had a go at the Glazers for not signing a defensive midfielder like Amrabat. They then get Amrabat and he's injured, and then they complain that they're signing injured players. I have zero sympathy for you.
And then they complain that they don't have a goal scorer, so they sign a striker, and then complain that the fact that he's not Premier League ready and he's too young to be in the Premier League.
And they stick him up front with Rashford, who don't pass.
Oh, God. Long live the Glazers. I'm going to buy a Norwich scarf just to wear it on this fucking podcast because I think it's hilarious. And that's coming from a Leeds fan. We've been tortured, but your fuckers are getting tortured big time. Yes, Brighton do Brighton things, basically. What's their gaffer? Deserbi. Well played. Danny Welbeck scored as well. I forgot about that.
And he celebrated.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Scum treated him like shit.
Yeah. Do you know what? Man United actually started off fairly decent in this game, but once Brighton went ahead, Man United collapsed. Yeah, Ten Hag seems to have just lost the plot. It's turned into that stage of a Man United manager's career where he is just, I don't know what's happened, but he is very much just spiraling.
I think he's already lost the dressing room.
I think he lost it last summer with Ronaldo, and I think that was a problem.
I keep forgetting that he was there last summer.
You've got the issues. They started last summer. You had Ronaldo who wasn't happy with some of the players. You had that England contingent of like Luke Shaw. I know McTominay's not English, but British then. Luke Shaw, McTominay, Maguire, and he's gotten rid of most of them, or tried to get rid of most of them, and they've dug their heels in and not went. So that's obviously created some issues. You've got the Jadon Sancho situation, you've got the Mason Greenwood situation, you've got the Anthony situation that's pulling all over. Apparently there was a bust-up after the Brighton game between certain players.
Oh, really? Didn't hear that.
Yeah. Lindelof, Bruno Fernandes, and Lisandro Martinez, apparently.
Okay, that's a very weird combination.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, seeing Bruno Fernandes playing centre back while Man United are getting battered at home is something that I never thought I'd see, but enjoyed it nonetheless.
Yeah. It'd only been better if it like fucking someone had smashed ball into his face and he didn't broke his jaw. He didn't have to do that fucking whingy little shit that he does.
But yeah, I put Brighton to win because I had full faith in the Brighton, and I don't have any faith in Man United. No. I just want to say my last point on that is, you all wanted De Gea out, and you hounded him out. After what was it? 10 years of service.
Yeah, 10 years of service, probably the most consistent,
one of your best ever keepers,
well-regarded keepers in the last decade.
He won the Golden Boot last season. The Golden Glove last season.
But that one down to him. That was down to Harry Maguire.
Yeah, he didn't play.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, he was wanted by Real Madrid. You forced him to stay. All that service, and you tossed him out like it just the trash.
A used Kleenex.
Yeah, and then you brought in Onana because he, can play out from the back. Yeah. And Claudio Bravo springs to mind at Manchester City.
That's a great reference.
He can't save anything. And do you know what? His distribution's not even been that good.
You've gone from having one of the best shot stoppers in league to having probably the worst shot stopper in the league. But hey, he can play out from the back. Swiftly moving on. I dropped my first point there because I had a draw. So I didn't have. Yeah, I didn't have. No, it's
4-1.
4-1.
No.
4-3. 4-3. Thank you. I got one wrong. 4-3. Yeah. Fucking hell. Jumping on to the next game, which was the Spurs game. Spurs at home. Excuse me. To Sheffield United.
Another shit team.
Yeah. Wow. I did not realise this game went the way it did. Holy Jesus. Okay. Yeah. I'll let you run with this, Lew, if you want.
Sheffield United are going down, but they just...
Wow.
Jesus Christ. The last minute goals in this was unbelievable. Can I just say, though, Kulusevski's goal was... What a thing.
I feel like he's mad underrated.
A little bit. When he first arrived, he was underrated, but then next season he was a bit overrated because he kind of fell off a little bit. And then this season he's kind of like middle out between the two. Richarlison got his first goal, which was actually, do you know what? Say what you want about him. It was quite nice to see him. They were all like very much like Spurs seem very much like a team. They don't seem like they're going to win anything, just typical Spurs, but they do seem like a very like. I'm very careful with the way I word this, but a likable team.
No.
In the loosest sense, in the terms of...
Not when you've got Richarlison up front.
Yeah, they're playing good football at the moment. The I can't fucking say his name. Yeah, the Greek manager they signed from Celtic.
He's not Greek.
He is. He was born in Greece.
It's Australian. He couldn't be fucking...
he's born in Greece and then moved to Australia.
He's literally Australian.
Yeah, but he was born in Greece.
All right, well, I was born in Ireland, but I don't make me Irish.
Yeah, Declan Rice.
Patrick Bamford.
Jack Grealish. Yeah, I know a lot of Sheffield United fans were not happy, including the manager, and said it was corruption. I don't know. It's just kind of the stupid rules they brought in.
Yeah. It
was smash and grab at the end, but Spurs continue their form, and I don't think many people saw this coming, to be honest.
No. For Sheffield United to lead as long as they did, probably everyone saw a bit of a blowout for Spurs. It were a bit like the... I hate to put it like this, but it's a bit like the Arsenal result a couple of weeks ago, where it was you don't give up until the full whistles sounded, and you keep going. And they were rewarded for that persistence. So I'm not saying it's they've got that champions mentality, but like, you know, you've got to dig out the hard games, and that's what they did. So fair play to them.
They seem full of confidence, and it's like this reflected it. It was like they didn't give up to the final whistle because I don't think they do. I was just gonna say, I don't think they do this if they're not off the back of like 4 wins in a row or whatever they're on.
No, I feel like they are playing with a lot of freedom, and sort of try to identify ourselves now that the greatest ever English goal scorer has left. Hang on, sorry. Greatest English ever goal scorer, even though 6,000 of them come against Panama and lesser teams, but hey-ho, has left, and now they're sort of filling that void and all sort of like grouping together and chipping in instead of just...
More of a team effort.
Yes,
yeah.
Instead of just, Harry, give us
they're greater than the sum of their parts now. But I just want to give a little shout out to Gustav Palmer. I thought he was really good last season. And he's carried it on. Yeah, obviously moving to Sheffield United.
He were one. I know we obviously got relegated. We were linked with him heavily last summer and this summer as well, and he was definitely one of them. But obviously, when we got relegated, we were priced out of that asset, if you want to call him an asset. But yeah, he's definitely one that I sort of feel like could have plugged a very good gap for us. But
yeah, I remember the 2 goals he scored against Borough at the end of the season in the playoffs, and he was
stunning.
You can tell he's a good player. I can see him going to a better team when Sheffield United inevitably go down.
Yeah, absolutely. So I had Spurs win. Lew, Spurs win. Yes, I believe.
Spurs win.
Yep. Spurs moving on to the next game, it is the West Ham City game. West Ham at home, City away, and Erling Haaland does Erling Haaland, but can I just say that I knew about Jeremy Doku about fucking 6 years ago, so anyone who has lesser knowledge than me... Yeah, Doku. No, Doku. Doku. I'm sorry. If it's that close, I am calling him Doku. So, James Ward-Prowse with the early-ish goal for...
He's continued on his form.
Yeah, he has. He's proven a lot of people wrong.
Signing of the season?
He's up there. He's up there. I'll give him that. He's battling against his the hole in which he's brought in to fill in Declan Rice for signing of the season. But hey, keep going, bro. I feel like West Ham could have been more of a threat if Bowen had been a bit more involved. Same way, what's his name? Paqueta. I feel like if those two had been a bit more involved and sort of taken the game to City, I feel like it could have been a better game to an extent. But you're coming up against City. City. You're coming up against City. You can either go for it and lose 7-0 or fucking sit back and lose 7-0. It's just I'm just
gonna say we're recording this on the Wednesday, and they've done exactly the same yesterday in the Champions League. They went 1-0 down, and they've just come back.
Yeah, I won't say it's champions mentality because it is against. Sorry, no disrespect to West Ham fans, but you are a lesser team than Man City. As much as that is not a
decent team, though.
But yeah, you're a good team, and I think you've got a good manager. Yeah, I think you've got a great manager, but I entirely believe in Moisey. But yeah, like you said, when you come up against Man City, you just sort of grab hold of the shirts and hold on and hope you don't get fucking 6-7-0 like we used to do. But Alvarez as well. Alvarez is just the whole he won't play. It'll just be second fiddle to Haaland. Fucking let him cut because he's literally carving his own path.
Didn't score this game though.
I know, but it will. I won't say
the Champions League twice, but
I won't say sensational, but damn, he played.
I will say one thing: as good as Haaland's been again, he is becoming. He's not been as what's it called? Clinical in front of goal.
Yeah, he's only got 7 in 5.
But I'm talking about the chances. Like last season, he would have had more by now. As ridiculous as that sounded.
Yeah, I know, but.
I'm not having a dig. I'm just saying.
I feel like
if he gets back to the form of last season, then people are in trouble.
Oh yeah, if he gets 15 goals this season, it'll be a bit.
I wonder what happens to Grealish though.
That's interesting. You say that because I feel like the expendable ones in that sort of attacking ball are. For some reason, Foden. I think Foden is going to be an expendable one, even though everyone keeps saying it's his. This year is everyone's going to be a Liverpool fan. This year's his year.
When's Pep going to go for fun and start playing the youngster Foden? You know,
that's it. And then obviously they missed out on it. Was Paqueta, wasn't it? But missed out on him this summer. Last thing.
He missed out on him. He got he should have got banned. But
well, that yeah. So whether that comes to fruition in January and they had another attacking talent, it's hard to see.
They don't have any weaknesses.
No, it's hard to see how they're going to rotate that front four and keep everyone happy, especially like Lew says, when Grealish comes back, if they do go in for someone in January, which
I imagine... They've got that new player as well, Matthias Nunes, who they've all been going on about. It's
Matthias?
Like
yeah, I know what you mean, actually. I fucking forgot about him.
We've also got like Lank's favourite player on the bench as well, and bringing in the squad to replace Rodri.
Yeah. That's going well, isn't it? Anyway, I don't know what Lew means. So we'll, funnily enough, I had a Man City win, which is inevitable, a bit like Thanos. Lew?
I also went with the City win.
Wow, you hadn't dropped a point, man. You hadn't dropped a point. Right, so next game we're moving on to is the Newcastle-Brentford game. Newcastle at home. It was the late kick-off on Saturday evening at 5:30. And, yeah.
Disappointing.
Yeah. I feel like Newcastle... By the way, before we fucking say out on Newcastle, I hope the fan that was horrendously attacked in Milan is... I heard he's been discharged. Hope he gets home well and none of his family were harmed. As a Leeds fan, we sort of know this area and it's a deep, touching area for myself. I remember the night in question. If you are at a football game with your family, you should never be touched. Italy has very big problems with not just racism, hooliganism, and again, hooliganism is one of those things. It happened in the past. If you are going to do it, I don't condone it. Just don't fucking go around stabbing people. Apparently, from what I've heard, this guy got stabbed in back. He was running away from people who tried to assault him and injure him, and they chased him down. And he was a middle-aged bloke or something like that. So they've purposely chased him down when he's been with his family and his kids. That's a no-go.
As bad as it is with
that's
the
a
fighting,
no-go. Yeah.
When you get the ultras, it's when they start, like, obviously that shouldn't happen, but it's like a step too far even more in that sense.
Yeah.
And they start attacking just everyday going match fans.
Absolutely. So yeah, I don't condone what happened, and I hope he is in the he's on the mend. But I feel again, like I said earlier about Spurs, this was one of those games that sort of it was a penalty, but I feel like it was sort of they dug it out, they dragged it out, they scrapped it out in a way, and I feel like Newcastle maybe still trying to find their identity. I think they had a false start to the season with obviously that very good result.
Yeah.
And it sort of maybe overhyped a lot of fans. But like I said, they dug out the win. That's another 3 points on the board.
It was a scrappy game though. Like they had that was a penalty claim. Obviously, they had they had a goal disallowed, didn't they, as well?
I don't believe so. Note is showing up on Flash Scores.
So, yeah, it was a very scrappy game. And just to touch on the game against AC Milan in the Champions League, Newcastle got absolutely battered in that game. Who were very, very lucky to come out with.
Yeah. But again, the dug out a point, and a point can
That's
be.
What I mean. Like, I don't know though. The way they're playing is not. it doesn't look good. Is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, when you've got people like fucking Callum Wilson, like there's no disrespect to Callum Wilson. I feel like obviously when Newcastle signed Chris Wood, I feel like that's the sort of Callum. That's what Callum Wilson is now.
Better than that.
No, but they signed Chris Wood on a 2-year deal. They knew clearly what was going to happen.
he's hit the ceiling of what they can get out of him, and
Yeah,
Newcastle
yes,
have
pretty
higher
much.
ambitions than that. And
Yeah.
I think it is very much a case of you will start to see a lot of the current squad slowly phased out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think that's going to be the case with the manager as well.
I hope not. I can see where you're going with that. I hope not. I hope he gets his chance. But
I don't think he's got much longer.
That's what you get when you're playing Anthony Gordon up front with Wilson and Harvey Barnes. I mean, if you want to fill that English quota, tick.
But even Isaac, when he played, he wasn't very good.
I know, but Isaac
lost to the San Zero.
Isaac, when he hits that sort of is in that vein of form or is in that mood, he's a bully, and I like that sort of thing.
There is, but you just didn't see it over these 2 games, in my opinion. But back to the Brentford game, I had a draw. I don't know what you had.
I had a Newcastle win, so I have clawed my point back there. What's that? 2, 4, 6, 7, 6 all.
Yeah, 6 all.
Yeah,
so
6 all.
Quite well this week.
So yeah, and then we get to Lubicon's favourite time of the week, which is Bournemouth at home to Chelsea. I saw some of this game.
Play the clip from last week. We dominated. We had most of the possession. We had enough chances up until the final third. We looked solid at the back, and we didn't win. Just play it. It's been the same for the. It's just repeat the last 4 or 5 game weeks. Like,
did you see that Pochettino was slagging off Mudryk?
Yeah, I don't understand that. I thought he was our best player.
Yeah.
In fact, he was our best player.
I mean, he got dragged off on 63rd minute for fucking Cole Palmer.
He got dragged off. He looked dangerous every time he had the ball. He looked like the only player going direct. Caicedo's injured. I don't know what the fuck's going on with the injuries, but they've now got 14 first-team players out.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's an excuse, but what are the medical team doing? Like, generally, it's time to start looking at what they're doing. Yeah, Cole Palmer came on. He had that basically one-on-one and decided not to shoot. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just a lack of confidence. Jackson just, I don't know. He just looks like he's just trying to do everything, and he's ended up doing nothing.
Yeah, I feel like it could go from bad to worse for you guys because I don't know when. Well, not just that. I don't know when Nkuku is due back, but the amount of pressure already building on his shoulders to come back from a decent injury and hit the ground running and start firing is gonna continue building. He might end up coming back full fit and not have the manager that signed him. I mean, Pochettino didn't. But
don't worry, Poch didn't want João Felix. It's not like he's tearing up for Barca at the moment.
So we'll move on and spare Lou.
Well, I had Chelsea as a winner. Yeah, that obviously did not happen.
Yeah, I had Chelsea as a winner. So this is going to be tentative because it comes down to the last 2 games. Still 6 all. We'll both drop points there as we move on to the mid-game day on Sunday, which was Everton Arsenal.
Closer than I thought. Like I said, Arsenal, similar to Newcastle, they're not convincing at the moment. They're getting the wins, and some would say that's championship winning mentality. But I think there's an extent to that. But like you can only perform like that and grind out results for so long. You have to start performing at some point, and Arsenal getting to that stage where they haven't had a good game in a while. I know they're winning at the moment, but
going into the game, there was a whole, I don't know how you felt about it, controversy surrounding the dropping of Aaron Ramsdale for David Raya.
I don't understand that. I don't.
I'm in the same boat. People are saying that Aaron Ramsdale's been making mistakes. I'm like, what mistakes? I'm like, if he's not England's #1 next year, Gareth Southgate deserves to be sacked on the spot.
Well, the thing is about Arsenal stuttering is it's not been their defensive output.
No,
it's been their attacking
exactly.
output.
This is what I was just going to get to. It's harming them now, the fact that they are obviously experimenting with a whole Kai Havertz striker situation, but does not work. They've got Eddie Nketiah, who is no knock on a young player, doesn't seem to be getting it done at this moment in time. Gabriel Jesus has just come back and he played, 20 minutes or something in that last game. Again, not a prolific goal scorer. I feel like if he had a prolific goal scorer, I hate to put it this way. Yeah, I hate to put it this way. Maybe someone who could bully a team or maybe like run the channels and Henry-esque. But someone who's actually willing to give a fuck about the team.
Bring back Bergkamp and Henry, fix all the problems.
Mate, if you brought Bergkamp and Henry now, they'd probably still fucking run rings around everyone. I think
Martinelli's injured as well.
Yeah, Martinelli went off.
I think he's out for an extended period.
Yeah, I feel like Arsenal's issues are forward end of the pitch or rather than the rear end. I don't know what's going on with whole Ramsdale Raya situation. Arteta made some very interesting comments. It's very sketchy when it comes to keepers because if now Raya plays the next game and makes a mistake, Arteta's going to look like a dickhead. But also at the same time, if he brings Ramsdale back in, Raya's loses faith, and Ramsdale's like, well, it's just a whole sticky situation, and for no reason because Ramsdale has been, in my eyes, probably one of the best keepers in the Premier League for the past couple of years.
Interesting as well because he started Ray tonight in the Champions League because we are filming this on the Wednesday as Arsenal playing. So it's like, is Ray now the number one and has usurped him? Because I know Chelsea have been sniffing around Aaron Ramsdale.
I think any club should go for him. I've watched him at Ellen Road
outside of Liverpool and City, obviously.
Yeah, I watched him at Ellen Road when we played them last season, and just the way he conducts himself around his penalty area, even when it comes to the fans and stuff like that, he has a bit of a dig at fans and stuff like that, a bit of banter with them. He gives it back. But just like the command of his area, his distribution, I think is simple but effective. Exactly what you need. None of his fucking fancy ass shit. His senses. I don't understand the situation. This is one of the few things that I'd question Arteta on, along with the striker situation. But yeah, but they got the points. Championship,
as well.
Yeah, it was. Championship mentality again, scraping points. I had Arsenal, I'm assuming, Lou.
I had Arsenal, but Everton surprised me. They did get dominated, but they looked more solid, which is something they've been lacking severely.
Do we touch on the controversy that surrounds Arsenal's disallowed goal? What were your opinions on it?
Do I remember the disallowed goal? Which was the disallowed goal?
The deflection that was... do you not see the deflection?
I watched the game. I just don't remember it.
So basically, Beto was closing down Gabriel or someone, I think, about halfway line. Gabriel goes to pass the ball. It deflects off Beto.
And he runs it, yeah. I don't understand the offside anymore.
No, this is one of the grey areas in football that is causing VAR to ruin our sport. I'm not fully against VAR. I'm not fully for VAR. But when you've got two match officials who are trained and I can't even find the words. They're trained on these systems to be able to make these judgment calls, and then it just gets questioned, and they refer to the referee, and the referee first. It's bullshit. I personally think it's. I don't know. Do you go down the old rule, or do you give it to the attacking team because they get the benefit, or it's I don't know. For me, I think it should have counted. I think it should have counted.
People are going to complain either way, though. If you give it the attackers, there's always going to be that grey area of is he on, is he off?
Yeah.
I just think the whole spirit of the rule, which I think is where we really need to go towards, is in the spirit of the rule is to avoid people just hanging around the goals like goal hangers.
Yeah,
it's not
Gary Lineker type.
Pretty much, it's not for like minuscule millimeters, if that, offside. It's like like the way I look at it is, does it make a difference if you're 2 centimeters ahead of somebody? It doesn't really, realistically, does it? No. Like it's if you're talking yards, then yeah, but if you're talking like, it defeats the whole spirit of the game. But I guess an offside is an offside.
Yeah. So both had Arsenal wins, so that ties it at what are we on? 7-7-0. 7-7 comes down to the last game. Could it be a triple rollover? I think we will just add points.
The numbers are.
Yeah, I think it'd just end up being a 3-point triple rollover because if it starts getting out of hand. Anyway, the last game that we have down is the Forest Burnley game, which is a late kick or not? Yeah,
Monday night.
Monday night. Yeah,
I didn't watch this game because I was not here. I was in London.
Yeah, the battle of mediocrity, as some people have dubbed it. I say some people. I mean myself.
Me, myself, and I.
Yeah, looking at the stats, it was quite possibly the most even game of the.
I did watch the highlights though. Callum Hudson-Odoi, another Chelsea product. It was a good goal. It was a good goal.
You should sign him.
We pay 50 million for him, to be fair.
Yeah. Basically, I don't know much about the game. Burnley went in front just before half time. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit I want to say like a Payet-esque, beautiful whip curved ball into the top right. Yeah, pretty much, yeah, without Keira Knightley, unfortunately. And then there was a late sending off for Lyle Foster, who was violent conduct.
I thought that was quite soft, to be honest.
Yeah. Burnley did have a goal disallowed as well for handball. Yeah.
That was quite controversial, actually.
Were it?
They didn't know if it hit his arm, and if it did, it was like pretty high up on his arm, and then it didn't really help. But it did technically hit his arm, I think. It's like, yeah, it's the whole thing of like, if it hits his arm but it doesn't assist him scoring, like, should it be a goal?
Yeah. Again, one of those whole grey areas that no one's ever thought to work out. We'll just argue over.
But yeah,
when it happens.
I put Forest to win this. I thought Forest would win this. I was all in on this.
I had Burnley win, so we are going triple rollover, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, 3 points in hand, and that will definitely influence my decision. So that ends 7-7 draw and triple rollover next week.
70% is not bad though.
No, I feel like obviously I called the whole scum game. So I'd have had a perfect Saturday for that. And obviously, Chelsea, would you have really gone for?
I'm just going to keep betting on them until you throw enough shit at a wall. Eventually,
it's going to stick. And then Burnley Forest is. Let's be honest, it's a toss up.
It's a coin cost. Yeah. I think Brentford Newcastle as well. That was very, very much maybe.
Yeah. Quickly run through the table as it stands of Wednesday. Man City, followed by Spurs, Liverpool, Arsenal, Brighton, West Ham, and Villa in 7th, which is where we pretty much cut off our predictions for the European spots. Forest currently sat 8th, so keep going.
A good start.
Keep going. Scum and Chelsea 13th and 14th.
I've seen some Man United fans saying we've had a worse start. We haven't. We were shit last season, and we've got an entirely new team. Yeah. You have definitely had a worse start than us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, and then towards the bottom, we have Wolves 16th, Sheffield United 17th, 18th is Everton, 19th Burnley, and 20th Luton. Both Luton and Burnley do have a game in hand against one another due to the Tin Pot Stadium rules. But Sheffield United, Everton, and Burnley on 1 point, and Luton currently sitting bottom after 4 games with 0 points. So,
I will say, if you go for if you go for Luton to beat Derby's record, it's something like 400 to 1. So,
I don't think they'll be that bad. I honestly don't think they'll be that bad.
Where are they picking up points? Is my question.
Chelsea, Scum.
Chelsea have already beaten them. That's the only win they've got this season.
Oh shit! I forgot about Yes.
quite embarrassing, that, isn't it, if you think about it?
Yeah, actually it is. Right, moving on to this week's game for a high nose-bleeding total of 3 points. Excuse me. Where are we here? 23rd. Okay, no early kickoffs then. Interesting. So we'll go with the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs on my list, which is Crystal Palace, Fulham.
Another London derby. That's again.
My first instance was to go Palace, but then now I'm sort of going, do I go draw? I feel like draws haven't worked out for me this year, this season so far.
I get what you mean.
I'm going Palace. I'm going draw. Probably a score draw, but it doesn't really matter.
I'm going to go Fulham 2-1. If Fulham at home?
Away. Fulham away. Palace home.
I'm going to go draw then.
Next game is the next 3 o'clock kickoff, which is Luton Wolves. Holy fuck, you were asking where points are going to come from.
Oh, gosh. Wolves are at home, yeah.
No, Wolves are away.
No. Do you know what? If they can keep up what they did against Liverpool, I'm going to go Wolves 1-0.
I'm going for it.
Go on.
I'm going for it. Luton win. I'm going for it, boys. We're going for this shit. I've been calling it for weeks. I wanted to go ballsy. I'm going ballsy. Yeah, so the last of the 3 o'clock kickoffs, this is a weird one, on Saturday is City Forest. I'm not going ballsy with this one. This is cut and dry. This is a City win.
I mean, we can't go City win every week. Like,
yes, we can. That's how it works. Are you gonna? If we were doing the La Liga instead of a Premier League, would you go against Real Madrid any other week? Maybe apart from El Clasico.
Yeah, they struggle sometimes against Atletico, and Valencia are playing really well this season. I'm going to go City. Because...
you can't go for City every week. You can't go for City every week.
Well, you know what I mean, though? Like, they ain't going to win every game.
I know that. I know what you mean. But, yes, so then moving on to the late afternoon kickoff. Again, this whole late kickoff on a fucking Saturday.
I want to touch on that in a bit.
Go on.
Like, at the end.
Oh, all right, okay. Yeah, so late afternoon kickoff, which is a 5:30 kickoff on the Saturday, is Brentford Everton. Brentford at home, Everton away. I've put Brentford win.
I'm gonna go balls. I'm gonna go draw.
Interesting. I obviously Brentford are out of the star boy.
But they've done all right without.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But just Everton.
I don't know. I just think
I love
Everton,
I love Sean Dyche.
Points,
yeah,
though.
that's it. I love Sean Dyche, but at the minute you're struggling to see how we're gonna start picking up points.
I don't think they'll score. I think they might grind out a 0-0.
Yeah, and then we get onto the late kickoff, 8 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday. Burnley at home to Man United. Oh boy, do I keep up my form of going for scum, or do I go for Burnley?
I'm gonna go Man United, but I don't think it'll be convincing.
Yeah, I've gone scum as well. I've gone scum. You can't really go.
United,
yeah, you can't go. I don't own one piece of red clothing apart from a Michael Jordan top. So
Burnley have been underwhelming to say the least.
Yeah, like you said, I think the game week 1 that we did this, the romped to the title last year. You'd have expected them. They've not had an easy start to the.
They haven't, but they haven't played well either.
No. But yeah, scum for me. And then we're going into the 2 o'clock kickoffs on Sunday. The first of which is the old famous North London derby. Arsenal versus Spurs. Now this could be a spicy meatball.
Both teams on the same points, I do believe. I don't know where this is going to go, because start of the season, you'd say Arsenal are clear, but like the way Spurs have been playing and the way Arsenal have been playing, it's...
Plus, it's a North London derby. These sort of
form
games
goes out the window.
Yeah. My first thought was to go for Arsenal, but I'm second guessing it. If I'm going to do the usual thing of go with my gut.
I think this is a time question, you know?
I feel like Spurs could... I feel like
Arsenal?
it is at Arsenal, yeah. I feel like Spurs could highlight weaknesses in Arsenal's defence with their speed in forward areas. And I feel like Arsenal's blunt attack could be a downfall here.
I don't think Spurs are as good. I think they have been a bit of a false dawn, but
I'm doing it. I'm going for Arsenal. I'm going for Arsenal.
I'm going draw.
I'm going Arsenal. I picked them against Scum, and even though there was a few controversial decisions, they did grind it out. Next 2 o'clock kickoff is Brighton-Bournemouth. I ain't doing it again.
Brighton.
I've fallen for that trick too many times. Brighton win. Bournemouth, you can all fuck. Bournemouth, I never used to mind you when they were in charge. Yeah, South Coast Derby, innit? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Brighton though.
Yeah,
Bournemouth are woeful.
Bournemouth, you can trip and fall on a fucking pitchfork for all I like it.
They do have 2 of Lank's favourite players though. So.
Yeah, fuck off, snakes, both of them. Anyway, next one is next 2 o'clock kickoff is one for Mr. Lubicon. Is he above the Emery train, or is he finally going to hop aboard the Pochettino train? Chelsea at home to Aston Villa.
I mean, they'll all be playing in Europe. Chelsea have had a nice rest with their 15 injuries.
This is why I picked Chelsea to finish second and Poch to get manager at the season.
Yeah, that's looking a bit ballsy, I'd say.
I had method behind my madness, but
it's early doors. It's early doors. You never know. Man United were struggling last season. They finished 3rd.
Yeah.
Not second.
I've gone Villa win. I'm above the Emery train. I feel like that's ballsy, but I feel like that's ballsy, but at the same time, Chelsea can't score.
The thing is that Chelsea have not been battered or outclassed. They just can't seem to get a goal. Yeah. Like Liverpool, they were the better team. There's not been many games this season. I think the only team that I'd say was the better team was West Ham, and I don't think they were. I think Chelsea were the better team. I just think West Ham were very clinical. But like you said, they have struggled. It's got to click at some point. I keep telling myself I am going to go Chelsea win, but I think it will be a draw, but I'm going to go Chelsea win.
Last of the 2 o'clock kickoffs on Sunday is Liverpool West Ham. Liverpool at home.
That's a potential banana skin.
I felt like that as well, but then I remember my Liverpool Villa prediction where you said Liverpool are at home, so don't be stupid.
Yeah, you said what? Coutinho hat trick in that game, I believe.
That I even said on video that it was a joke. So
I don't know about that one. Yeah, West Ham. Yeah, West Ham could get a result. I don't think they will, but they could.
Yeah, I've gone Liverpool win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Liverpool. I've gone with enough ballsy ones where it's like that's a safe pick, and that'll probably clip that. That'll definitely come back to bite me on the arse.
Yeah, and then the final evening game or late afternoon game, 4:30 kickoff on Sunday is Sheffield United versus Newcastle.
Once again, shocking Newcastle win.
Yep, I've gone Newcastle win as well. So that is that. There are our predictions for game week. That was game week 6, yeah. Game week 6. So we'll see how they go on. It is a triple rollover. And
1/8 of the way through the season.
That's math I can't do. It's pointless talking about it. But I will now go off on my tangent, which
Can I just add a little point
go on.
The Premier League has recently signed a new deal. I don't know if you've seen for the TV rights for the next few seasons, and there is a new slot opened up as part of it in an attempt to get more games out.
Yeah, 8 o'clock kickoff.
And once 8 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday, and it just shows how out of touch they are with real match-going fans. How are you meant to get to an away game at 8 o'clock on a Sunday?
No, it's Saturday, isn't it?
No, it's Sunday. They're adding an 8 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday.
Okay, well, that's disgusting.
Yeah, just.
I would say, imagine being a Newcastle fan going to Brighton away.
Even a local game, say Man United Everton, for example. You know, it's fairly local. Like the kickoff is 8. It's not going to finish till about 10, half 10, and then you got like another hour and a half. You ain't going to get back till 12 if you got work the next morning or school.
Yeah, but money.
They just don't care. They just don't care.
No, it obviously fucking shows in the way football's run these days that no one cares.
They're running it as like, oh, but give him more games to the fans. Shows the 3 o'clock kickoffs. It's so archaic. Just get rid of the blackout, the 3 p.m. blackout. It's not needed.
Yeah, I've been saying that fucking decades.
For me though, you cut out the middleman. You get rid of Sky, you get rid of TNT, and you do similar to how the basketball is, I believe, where the Premier League offers a pay subscription. You subscribe
like a Game Pass sort of thing.
Yeah, like a Game Pass, and you can pay and you can watch the games, all the games, and then the money goes directly to the Premier League and the clubs. Yeah. And you don't need a broadcaster, and it's
Because if we're being honest on this whole situation, Sky Sports lately, over the past couple of years, has gone through. Yeah, I won't even say down the drain because that is an understatement. Soccer Saturday is now an absolute disgrace, and it's not just because Jeff Stelling's gone. The guests in their entirety have never amounted to anything. You got Chris Boyd. I love him because he was a Rangers striker. But then you got Clinton Morrison, Sue Smith, Michael Dawson. What the fuck is going on? And then you've got people like Karen Kearney, who has no idea what's going on about football on Super Sunday with Theo Walcott. And then Michael Owen. And then Michael Owens hosting his own show. Michael Owen! He couldn't make it. He couldn't make it on Channel 5. Channel 5! He couldn't make it on Channel 5. My daughter could make it on Channel 5 and she can't talk properly. This is... Sky are wondering why nobody's paying like 40 odd quid. I couldn't give a fuck. I couldn't care less. I'd rather... just listen to no noise.
You know, I want to listen to Peter Crouch and Rio Ferdinand debate about.
I'd listen to Peter Crouch because I think it's funny. I won't listen to that prick. The
broadcasters are out of touch. Fuck them all, and we'll go into another team that is out of touch. United.
Lank On Leeds. I said in the last episode, I felt disillusion with a club. The game, as we have filmed this on Wednesday, we have just drawn 0-0 with Hull away on a Tuesday night. Joe Rodden has been sent off. By the looks of it, Somerville has picked up a knock. And back to Saturday's game against Millwall. We're obviously getting points. It's tough to go away at Millwall. The first 10 minutes, Jesus Christ Almighty! I watched the first half and then I watched the Grand Prix again because I'm so disillusioned with the club. The first 10 minutes, I was scared. This was a big game for me because of the international break. The way we were before the international break, there was so much going on left, right, and centre. I felt sorry for Daniel Farker. Obviously, not too many of our players were away on international duties, except from Sir Patrick of Bamford.
And Dan James.
Oh, God. Anyway, moving on. I felt if we didn't come out of the traps firing or we didn't show our worth in this game after we've had a week and a half period of just purely focusing on us as a team and nothing else, there's no outside distractions, there's no little snakes trying to fucking get a way out apart from Nonto, who's still working on that in the background.
Well.
I keep seeing rumours about him, but we'll starve off that. It's still a snake. If we didn't show us a good showing, give a good showing of ourselves during this game, there'd have been worrying signs. Fortunately enough, we weathered the storm in the first 10 minutes. I feel like that is going to be a standard set across all our games now, where the first 10 minutes or so, the opposition just absolutely goes hell for leather against us, and we've got to weather that storm. The Millwall fans, I feel like Millwall were a little hard done by Pirot's first goal. I wouldn't say it was a handball against Ayling. The foul I have seen given. I understand their protests. If it was given, it would have been soft because Pirot was trying to get out of the way. I feel like the Millwall player hung his leg. Referee was right in front of it. Go on.
Do you think VAR would have overruled it?
fuck bar. This is why I'm so glad to be back in Championship. This is literally a reason I'm glad to be back in Championship. We don't need that shit. Just give us goal line technology. We're cushy. Yeah, fine. We'll have that. VAR? No, you keep Premier League. But yeah, that counter attack for Pirot's first goal and his awareness to jump over the ball and receive it back from Rutter and then open his body. Oh, magnifique. The second goal that has been credited as a Dan James assist, which is a travesty against football. The second goal was a striker's now's goal. He was in the right place at the right time. And then Rutter's goal for the third goal turned two defenders and opened up a bit of space and shot across the keeper. And I am so glad for Rutter. He come in during a very dysfunctional time at the club. Had a hard time about it. Big price tag on his head. I still keep forgetting to this day that he's 21. So I'm glad he's building his confidence, and I hope he does build a partnership with Pirot. I would prefer to see him in a 4-4-2. I feel that works better than Pirot dropping deep into a number 10 role. I think Pirot gets too isolated there. That's my personal thoughts. I'm still disillusioned with the club in terms of, I don't know, there's a lot of things. Ticketing,
what's
being
going
able
on with the ownership?
We're still owned by 49ers. It's all been cleared and all been taken over. We now have a backing of $1 billion company or $1 billion family. But it's more financial fair play issues that are blighting us this season. Just around the whole ticketing, this comes to a personal thing. When I went to get my daughter's football kit the other day, because she actually turned around and wanted one, if you wanted printing on the back of it, bear in mind it's only a kid's shirt, it comes to £65. A couple of seasons ago, Radrazani brought out the whole thing when the Super League, Super League? The breakaway thing with Real Madrid, the Super League, because I thought that sounded too rugby league. When it come out about the Super League and stuff like that, they got all the players to wear shirts or t-shirts that said "football is for the fans," and yet the charge is £65 to get a fucking children's top. That pretty much sums up how disillusioned I am with the club right now. We're in the Championship and we're spending £65, not on my top, not on a grown-up's top, on a child's top. She's under 5. It's a joke.
It's on the back.
That's another thing. I feel like unless one of Rutter or Pirot or both of them are regularly scoring, I feel like when Patrick comes back, he will be shoehorned into this club. I'm not happy about it.
What was the agenda against Bamford, though? Because it wasn't that bad.
The agenda against Bamford is he needs 1,462 attempts on goal to score 1 goal. Whereas...
He played the violin.
He also turned down Harvard. He should have taken it. But yeah, I'm not knocking him against... That game was a great game from what I've heard. First half against after the first 10 minutes were a great game. I don't know anything about tonight's game because we have, like Lew said at the start of this video, we have filmed back to back. Playing half an hour with 10 men against Hull away. I don't think it's a bad point to get. Again, just keep getting those points on the board. Get Millwall away. Great win to get as always. We have got Watford coming up on the Saturday, I believe. Watford coming up at Saturday at home on Saturday at 3:00. I don't really know what else I can say that I hadn't already said. It's a whole disillusion surrounding the club. We just need to keep scraping wins or grabbing those points. And for me, even at this point, I've said this all season long, I feel like a mid-table finish is on the cards for us. It's
You never know though in the championship. It's very much a marathon.
Absolutely.
It's a grind.
Absolutely. We're currently sitting 9th in the table on 10 points. We've got Birmingham, Bristol City above us, Cardiff, Millwall just below us. But if you have any thoughts on Leeds United, leave them in the comments of Lank On Leeds, and we shall discuss in a very nice and friendly manner. Unless you're a Scum fan, which then you can fuck off and concentrate on your own club. Would you like to add anything on Borough, Mr. Lubicon? Another one of your teams that is severely faltering.
What can I say? Bottom of the league. One of the pundits' favourites to go up at the start of the season, despite the loss of Akpom and Archer and Ramsey and Giles. They haven't really backed him in the transfer window, but he's not helping himself, is the best way I can see. And it's starting to look like it was just a flash in the pan, good run of form. And now that things are getting tough, he's not really showing anything. I don't know why he persisted on playing Silvera when he was just awful. You had Riley McGree was by far the best player on the pitch, and he took him off for no reason, but he kept Matt Crooks on. I just don't understand it. Stefan was shocking last season in terms of the goalkeeper, but that Sammy Dieng they've signed, he's no better, he's worse if anything. The defence is leaking goals. They can't score to save their lives, which second top goal scorers last year, bar Burnley, who romped the league. It's a travesty. And as good as Steve Gibson's been as a chairman, and he saved the club in the 80s, I think it's time to go.
Get your Norwich scarves out, boys. Get your Norwich scarves out.
It's time to go. He doesn't have the funds capable to compete at that level.
Yeah, I suppose it'd be like a Radrazani for us, where he's worth hundreds of millions instead of billions.
Yeah, it's like he's local lad. He's a fan of the club. He saved them when they went into debt and they didn't have a ground to play at in the 80s. But it's you could do that in the 80s, but you can't compete as a millionaire, as a local investor from a business. In the modern game, it's just not. You need outside investment, and he's had offers and he's turned it down on the back of what's best for the club. But I think what's best for the club is he stays on as lifetime chairman, but they get somebody else in to own it and fund it, because they're just not going to be they're not going to be competitive. And the signing, they've sold their best players or lost them to loans, and they've not replaced them. They've gone the cheap route, and. It's worrying times. They are in very much relegation form at the moment.
Yep. Bottom of the table, I believe, currently.
Rooted to the bottom, and they just drew Sheffield United, who are second bottom. So.
Chef Wednesday.
Apologies. Yeah, Sheffield United will be there next season.
Yeah. They're both scum teams anyway. And on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy our roundup of Game Week 5 and predictions for Game Week 6, as well as Lew's take on Middlesbrough and Lank On Leeds, if you did enjoy them, please do consider hitting the like and subscribe button. Lew's link is in my description. My link is in his description. And I've got nothing else to add apart from hope you enjoy the rest of your week and weekend. And we shall see you next week.
Bye-bye.